Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Ministry of Transport opens the main road of Barka Nakhal dual carriageway project with a length of 38 kilometers. The Ministry of Heritage and Culture continues its efforts in restoring and maintaining a number of archaeological landmarks in the Sultanate. And the coronavirus-infected cases exceed 18.33 million, and the UN Secretary-General warns the largest disruption of education in history. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. The Ministry of Transport opened today the main road of Barka Nakhal Road project at a length of 38 kilometers starting from Barka Industrial Roundabout to Wadi Mastal Roundabout. The opening comes after the ministry has completed the last part of the dual project from Musalamat region to Al Saadiyya region in the Wilaya of Nakhal. The duality project includes the construction of 7 upper intersections, 2 bridges for Wadi crossings, 5 roundabouts, 1 tunnel for vehicles, 6 tunnels for pedestrian crossing, 1 overbridge for pedestrian and service roads of about 27 kilometers in length. The road has been constructed with 2 traffic lanes in each direction with a width of 3.75 meters each and external asphalt shoulders with a width of 2.5 meters. The road has also been provided with all traffic safety and security requirements from iron barriers, concrete barriers and reflective signs. The Ministry of Heritage and Culture is continuing its efforts in the field of restoration of several forts, castles, old villages, mosques and archaeological sites. The move aims to preserve the elements of immortal Omani heritage. The ministry disclosed that it is working to renovate and maintain 11 archaeological landmarks. The sites included Al Awaina Old Mosque in the Wilaya of Wadi Bani Khalid in the Governorate of North Sharqiya, which its construction dates back to the mid of the 16th century. Beit al-Fath in the Wilaya of Boshar is one of the places subject to renovation projects being undertaken by the Ministry of Heritage and Culture. It is also working to renovate Nakhal Fort in the Wilaya of Nakhal in the Governorate of South Batna and Bibi Mariam Tomb in Kalhat Historical City in the Wilaya of Sur in the Governorate of South Sharqiya, which included on the list of global heritage in 2018. During last year, the Ministry of Heritage and Culture has completed maintenance projects for Barka Castle in the Governorate of South Batna and Suwaik Castle and renovation project for Al Mahyul Castle in the Wilaya of Ja'lan Bani Bu Hussein. Bani Bu Hassan. Some of 82 fort castles and archaeological walls were renovated by the ministry in 45 wilayas in the Sultanate, in addition to 52 old mosques in various governorates of the Sultanate. Green Fuels, a UK-based biofuels company, has chosen Khazain Economic City to set up a facility for recycling waste cooking oil into biofuels. More details in the following report.
The first phase of infrastructure construction works at Khazain Economic City are going on at an accelerated pace to prepare the city to receive all investors and business owners seeking to localize their projects in the latest integrated economic city in the Sultanate. Green Fuels, a UK-based biofuels company, will set up a facility for recycling waste cooking oil into biofuels. The project will be implemented as a joint venture in partnership with Waqood Company. The biodiesel plant is one of the key strategic projects that were supported by the Implementation Support and Follow-up Unit and EJAD. It also comes in line with the government's plans to establish projects that contribute to the national economic growth. This innovative and environmentally sustainable project endeavors to create a positive impact in the region and to enhance the biofuels ecosystem in the country. For the Sultanate of Oman Television, Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi.
Duqm Port received the first container from COSCO Shipping Line, the fourth largest container operator in the world. Duqm Port is now provided by the best 4 shipping lines in the world, which marks the port connected to all ports of the world. Duqm Port received many shipments in the year 2020 through various international shipping lines as it gradually became ideal gateway outlet for various projects in the special economic zone in Duqm. In line with the development of a transportation system in the Sultanate and the facilities for movement of goods, money and people provided by the customs sector of the Royal Oman Police, the latest report issued by the World Bank showed that the Sultanate during the past years has witnessed growth in logistics and land transport sector. More details in the following report.
The customs sector in the Sultanate has witnessed technological and organizational developments to enhance the efficiency of goods and cargo clearance. In the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business 2020 annual report, the Sultanate ranked first in the GCC in the Trading Across Borders Index. The report mentioned the infrastructure developments in Suhar Port, as well as the introduction of inspections based on risk management and the development of the customs audit system. 24 government agencies have also been linked with Bayan system, in addition to accrediting 14 companies in the economic operator. The efforts to develop the logistics sector come through the application of the latest trade facilitation tools in line with global practices. The Directorate General of Customs implemented a number of initiatives within the framework of the Sultanate's commitment to international trade facilitation agreements, along with the aspirations of the Sultanate's National Logistics Strategy 2040. The logistics sector includes services for the flow, storage, and transport of goods between the point of origin and the point of consumption. To speed up the customs clearance process and reduce costs, the Directorate General of Customs worked on a number of measures, including accepting bank or written guarantees for goods imported to the free zones, accepting insurance instead of financial security for some companies, refund of custom taxes for goods re-exported through the Sultanate's ports and airports, as well as allowing the storage of goods in the free zones and customs warehouses for periods up to 3 years. All of this comes towards achieving a clear vision of the Sultanate's logistics sector to be the second largest contributor to the national economy and for Oman to be among the 10 best countries in this sector before 2040. For the Sultanate of Oman Television, Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi.
The Public Authority for Civil Aviation said that the specialists at the National Multi-Hazards Early Warning Center are following up the weather over the Arabian Sea, where it is possible for a tropical condition and adduction of clouds over the northern governorates of the Sultanate starting from Saturday, as varied intensity rainfalls are expected. Oman Medical Association COVID-19 Hospital, in collaboration with AdLife Private Hospital, continue to provide quality care for COVID-19 patients under the dedicated hands of both medical nurses volunteers. More details in the following report by Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rabai.
Frontline volunteer nurses, among them members of Oman Nursing Association, are exerting their efforts at the Oman Medical Association COVID-19 hospital located in Al Amrat. This temporary hospital is under the total management of Oman Medical Association in collaboration with the AdLife Hospital that was opened in May 2020 under the title Mu'afa, which means recovery. The hospital has over 100 health workers, mostly Omani volunteers, who have dedicated their time to provide care for all patients admitted in this hospital. So far, 180 patients with COVID-19 have received care in the hospital, thanks to a well-organized management by the Oman Medical Association and excellent collaboration with volunteer nurses and other healthcare staff. The hospital continues to provide quality service.
We all are responsible. Let's use our time to really invest in prevention and control the coronavirus. Please follow prevention measures so that you can reduce pressure on us.
Having this hospital function at this time of pandemic, it has contributed in reducing a bit of pressure that are faced in some of the hospitals in the governorate of Muscat, all of what is due to the rising number of coronaviruses witnessed in the country.
We depend on you, my fellow citizens, residents, and visitors of our country, to help us reduce the impact of COVID-19 on the healthcare staff and healthcare system in general. Let's be responsible. Stay home, stay safe.
It's worth mentioning that Oman Medical Association chose Adlife Hospital, a private hospital that was in the final stage of completion, to use it as a temporary coronavirus hospital. The hospital comprises 64 beds, including 4 intensive care beds, and currently receives confirmed COVID-19 cases with mild or moderate symptoms as inpatients in accordance to the Ministry of Health and international protocols. Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television, Al-Amrat, Muscat.
The novel coronavirus has killed at least 694,507 people since the outbreak emerged in China last December. Almost 18.33 million cases have been registered in 196 countries and territories. Of these, at least 10.71 million are now considered recovered. The United States is the worst hit country with 155,471 deaths from 4.71 million cases. After the U.S., the hardest hit countries are Brazil with 94,665 deaths, Mexico 48,012, Britain 46,210, and India with 38,938 deaths. Europe overall has 211,145 deaths from more than 3.23 million cases, and Latin America and the Caribbean has 203,726 deaths from 5.03 million infections. Asia has 65,970 deaths, Middle East 28,320, and Africa with 20,629 deaths. The World Health Organization today urged Russia to follow the established guidelines for producing safe and effective vaccines after Moscow announced plans to start swiftly producing COVID-19 jabs. Russia said yesterday it aims to launch mass production of a coronavirus vaccine in September and turn out several million doses per month by the next year. Russia is pushing ahead with several vaccine prototypes. Officials claimed that one trialed by the Gamaleya Institute in Moscow has reached advanced stages of development and is about to pass state registration. World Health Organization spokesman Christian Lindmeier told reporters at the United Nations in Geneva that all vaccine candidates should go through the full stages of testing before being rolled out, and there are established practices and guidelines are in place. The pandemic has seen an unprecedented mobilization of funding and research through rush through a vaccine that can protect billions of people worldwide. The United Nations chief said that coronavirus pandemic has led to the largest disruption of education in history, with schools closed in more than 160 countries in mid-July, affecting more than 1 billion students. In addition, Secretary General Antonio Guterres said today that at least 40 million children worldwide have missed out on education in the critical preschool year. As a result, he warned that the world faces a generational catastrophe that could waste untold human potential, undermine decades of progress, and exacerbate entrenched inequalities. Guterres called for the reopening of schools once the local transmission of the virus is under control. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Ministry of Transport opens the main road of Barka Nakhal dual carriageway project with a length of 38 kilometers. The Ministry of Heritage and Culture continues its efforts in restoring and maintaining a number of archaeological landmarks in the Sultanate. And the coronavirus infected cases exceeds 18.33 million, and the UN Secretary General warns of the largest disruption of education in history. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the studios and the newsroom, it's good night.